Introduce yourself and then take it away.
Okay, I'm Bill Lennertz, the Executive Director of the National Charrette Institute, based in Portland, Oregon. We're a nonprofit organization doing research and education on best practices in public involvement and collaborative project management. So, what do you want to talk about?
Let's talk a little bit about your investigation of the social networking technologies, how you got into that, and how that relates to charrettes.
Well, you know, the Charrette Institute is very interested in this emerging, well, for some people it's not really emerging, this emerging world of social networking, combined with high-tech planning tools that have been around for a while, and how that works into our charrette system, which by and large for many years has been about what you might call a soft touch approach, with very little technology involved. Very much face-to-face, people in person, valuing that face-to-face connection. And in terms of the actual charrette work, the actual physical design work, mostly hand-drawn, maybe computers in terms of CAD work and so forth. But there's this whole sort of parallel universe out there that has been developing, not only for the planning tools, which are increasingly capable of turning around scenarios of community plans and their impacts on social, economic, and environmental impacts, can turn those around very quickly, those analysis, which is important for charrettes because we do things very quickly. But the other part of it is the social media and the tools that are being used, Facebook, Flickr, tweeting, all of those things that are becoming very prominent these days. So we're partnering with placematters.org, an organization, another nonprofit, that is about that whole world of the social media and the high-tech planning tools for community planning to make public involvement more meaningful, more accessible to a wider range of people. And I guess it's probably the accessibility thing, one of the things that intrigues me, because like for instance in the New Orleans work that was done, people had to be connected remotely because they weren't there. So there's a very valid reason for trying to hook people up through technology remotely. So we're interested in that. We're also interested in, honestly, I'm not of the generation, the texting generation, the social networking generation, the gaming generation, but I respect it completely and believe that that the young people, this is a great part of their world. So it's not, to me, it's not just Facebook for people to find who their high school friends are and so forth. I'm more interested in the social networking that's occurring in a significant way between people over the internet. And we really haven't come to any conclusions about how this works with charrettes and public planning yet, but we believe it has to be there. And so at the Congress for New Urbanism, we just did a session on what we call high-tech, high-touch charrettes, that show how these two can be brought together, and we'll be doing those sessions we're going to be proposing it for APA and other conferences, and working it into our curriculum as we go forward, so that we're not left in the dust. We don't want to be dinosaurs at NCI. We always want to be on the edge with best practices. So I'm on Ken Snyder's board, he's on my board. We're cross-fertilizing these two worlds. A really important topic at the Charrette Institute is how charrettes are an antidote for the multitasking world. Because as we all know, everybody is multitasking these days. You hear articles about it, you hear books about it, psychologists are talking about how it's bad for you. On your desktop at work, you probably have 3 or 4 different windows. You have emails coming in that you have to check every so often. You're working on a piece for something, but there's an email, you jump off of that. You're working for a while, you go, oh, I wonder what's happening on this Facebook tweet over here. You work over there. We are not focusing on our work the way we used to. So if you think about it, creativity requires focus. It requires that singular focus of your energy on a project for an extended period of time. An artist, someone who's writing a book. Do you think someone who's writing a book is sitting there reading their email and looking at Twitter while they're writing a novel. They're probably off in the woods in Michigan, away from all of that, completely immersed in the project. Do you think that a songwriter's doing the same? We're losing the creative advantage through this multitasking. And the charrette is a very powerful technique to resolve that for community planning. The reason is that in a conventional process, what happens is that there might be a public meeting or a design session, and then everybody goes away and comes back a while later, and they go back to their office, and those who are working on the project, I'm talking specifically about the designers here, they go back to their multitasking world. How long do they get to really spend on that project again before they go back? In the charrette, the world ideally is shut off. And not only is that singular designer, and this is the amazingly powerful part about the creative process in the charrette, is it's not you, but it's your team that is as a group focusing that amazing talent of 6, 7, 8, 10 people on a singular project for 8, 10, 12, 14 hours a day for 4, 5, 6, 7 days. And the result, the creativity that emerges out of it is unparalleled. It's a way to work. It's a way people should be working. That's my antidote for multitasking. You're going to have to multitask, okay? You're going to have to do that. So why not take 3, 4 days to not do it and focus on the project, like the book you're writing or the painting you're doing? You have to go away. And charrettes are a way of going away with a group and becoming incredibly creative.